Lastly, we have part D. If g to the negative 1 is the inverse function of g, write an equation for the line tangent to the graph of y equals g prime of x at x equals 2. Okay, so we want the inverse of the function at x equals 2. All right, inverse, we need to remember, okay, is you look for the y that is 2 and give yourself the x. So we're talking about g. So what x gives us a value of g but 1. So we were talking about the function 2, 1, and now we're saying 1, 2, right? So remember that the inverse function, so if we want g prime negative 1 prime, and we would want it at 2, is equal to 1 over g prime of 1, which is equal to 1/5. Now that's the slope, okay, and our function is at 2, 1, so we would go back to that original point, and so it's just y minus 1 equals 1/5 x minus 2. So if you don't understand that, you got to remember this formula right here, right? The derivative of an inverse is 1 over the derivative of the function at its y instead of its x. Okay, so that's how we get 1/5. And refresh yourselves, we did that on reviews 6 through 10. One of those was this, so try to remember that. So that was D. All right, let's go back over our points and calculate the points. So let's start at the beginning. Part A was worth 2 points altogether, so 2 points for part A. You get 1 point for h of 1 and h of 3, so you get 1 point for doing that, and you get 1 point for the conclusion using the IVT, so you have to have. Okay, so let's go on to part B, sorry. See, this is part B. I wrote part A. This is part B. Part B is worth 2 points too. You get 1 point for having that, and 1 point for mean value theorem with the conclusion. Okay. Part 3 is worth 2 points. All right, you get 1 point for applying the chain rule here, this guy, and 1 point for the answer, and 3 points for this, which to me was the easiest one, but maybe it's the hardest for you guys. Okay, you got 1 point for the inverse of g at 2, saying that it's 1. So you get 1 point for finding this 1. You get 1 point for finding the slope is 1/5, because it's over there, and then using 1 in it. And then you get 1 point for the equation. So there's your 3 points for that. So that was the total points for this.